Welcome everyone from Soul to Syllabus. I'm so excited to have you here. This is something I really wanted to put together in a training for a long time, so I decided to put it over a 3-day challenge. All right. And take the word challenge as you want. I didn't go full on challenge. Like, I'm not giving out gifts and like, I'm not gamifying this. Okay. This is literally for you. This is a soul challenge. This is probably something that you've been circling around for a long time. So, if anyone connects with that right away, the circling meaning you wanting to come out with a course, you wanting to organize a process or a method of yours or something that's been tinkering around in your mind or in your soul, and you're like, I need to put this together, or I need to teach this, or you keep seeing everyone come out with their own courses and their own things, right? And you're like, that's me. I could be doing this. Or you're in my business school and we've been talking on our Friday strategy and support calls for how many Fridays over how many months and how many years that it's time to put a course together. A lot of people are here too because I'm doing this very differently. This isn't like, let's slap together a course and use AI, guys. I am not doing that. You can go do that. You could have AI figure out 100 different courses you could put together. You could Google search, you could YouTube search how to design a course. You could do all those things and go do it. Go look, go see what happens. I'm hitting this from a different angle. The angle here is I'm saying the lived experience you went through, that process is a method. Your transformation, whether it be your healing transformation or your liberation of something, or a healing of an actual like illness, diagnosis, or disease, like what you've been through, all the way to like getting through a divorce with kids involved. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out. You've been through something. And when you went through it, you actually took steps and you created this process without you knowing it. Now I'll add in the soul purpose layer because that's what I do. I add in soul purpose. And soul purpose, when you're trying to find your soul purpose, many of you on this call live right now, you know what yours is. It's not new. But you've been through this process, so you can listen to it. And if you're new to soul purpose, and that's why you're here and you're in my world listening to this is where you can start. When people first start to try to figure out what their soul purpose is, I ask them to start paying attention to their earth classrooms. What are the training grounds, these earth training grounds that you've been through? And start to pick out the themes and the pattern recognition, the patterns of the experiences or the transformations or the things that keep happening to you. So for those of you that know your soul purpose, did you have to go through that? Did you kind of have to play with that like pattern recognition and like, oh, there's a theme here. Like, whoa, why does this keep happening to me? People recognize this too, these patterns when you've like, your girlfriend who's like dated the same guy, his name just changes every time. You know what I mean? Like there's a pattern there. She's attracting someone very specific, most likely to a wound that hasn't been healed. We're not here for relationship advice or any dating advice, but it's a good example. So for you, you've been through specific experiences and themes and topics, right, over and over again. We're actually going to play with that today. We're going to pull those out. So let me see the comments real quick. And yeah, you guys feel free to comment in on this. My pattern is definitely loss, LOL. Lots of loss and grief. So much shadow integration in there. And you are a birth doula and a death doula, right? Holding the portal of life and death open, right? That loss and that grief and that sorrow, I think, explains the initiation people go through in those portals, right? But also the intensity. That's intensity. A lot of people can't hold grief and loss. They don't know what to do. They can't look at it. They can't look at it. We all know someone in our life who can't even look at it, right? You can. You can look it dead on, straight in the fucking face, I bet. Okay. Laura said, my son has been inviting me into understanding how different children learn to read since he was little. Tell them what you are, because I don't want to butcher it. Can you say what you are real quick, what your title is, so that this can make beautiful sense? Go ahead.
Yeah, I created a business to support educators, caregivers, and organizations to use research to understand how children learn to read and think differently about it through child-led interest and play.
Yes. Yes. So of course, like guys, looking at that sole purpose for her, this is what she's here to do. And of course, she would call in a child, and that child would call in that mother, and they would work together. It gives me chills, right? And they would work together in this lifetime for other children, for a bigger, deeper purpose. Oof, it makes me want to cry. Like, you know what I mean? Like chills, chills, fucking chills. So you guys keep writing your stuff in. I'm going to introduce the day. LOL. We have three very different themes for the days, okay? But it is a process and it is a journey. So I just wanted to kick it off with how different this will be. This is not slap a course together and get it online and sell it. This is me saying, let's go on a journey. Let us uncover the depth of what you're here to do, maybe a bit of what your soul purpose is here to do, the themes and the reoccurring patterns we've witnessed or you're about to witness, and how you can, over the days, package that together so that you can have it be something you sell or offer. Maybe you add it onto your offer suite. Maybe it's a bonus. Maybe this is the course you've been waiting to get out. Just by comments, can you guys write in? Because I know I have a few people on here who have wanted to do this. If you're someone who's like, oh, Jamie's been telling me to put a course together for years. Or, oh man, we've been kind of circling around with this. Please write in the comments so I can see. As I know there's a bunch of you here. And even some of you, I feel like there's a few people on here that are like, they hate the idea of designing a course. But they're like, let's come on and see what Jamie has to say about this because this sounds a little different than what I've been told. And I can't, this is my pattern is I can't just do what everyone else is doing. I can't. I've always been like a little weird, and I'm not going to be mean about myself, but I'm saying like I was always the black sheep. I was always a little bit weird. I learned how to fit in because it was a survival technique. I learned how to be funny so that I could survive in this society that I knew I did not fit in. Right. But I'm always like, as I started to mature and get into my own energy and feel comfortable in my skin and then get really clear about what my purpose is, I'm here to disrupt. I'm here to change. I'm here to also go deep and intensely with people. So that's why this explains like from soul to syllabus is just that, right? We're going from the soul work you're here to do and the soul experience you've had. And how do we turn that into a syllabus? Let me see. Ashley said, I have so many courses in me waiting to be birthed. Great. So let's dive in. So today's theme is going to be about, and you can, I said, bring a journal in the notes here. Identifying what you're meant to teach. Okay, so this will really calm yourself down today. Like, what would it be? What am I gonna look like? What am I gonna, all right? All those crazy monkey mind questions. Like each day is going to be, we're really gonna explore. We're gonna go up, we're gonna go down, we're gonna go in, we're gonna go out. It's gonna be expansive. You are probably not going to be the same person at the end of this experience. That's what people have with me in many of my courses and experiences. And you may just be identifying yourself in a more powerful way by the end of this 3 days. You may just be standing in your authority more. You may be really proud of the expertise that you can stand on and stand in now. Okay, so let's dive in. So, first, I want you to take a deep breath with me because today is not about tech, not about platforms. It's not about Canva templates. Today is about something much deeper. Today is about the question, what are you actually here to teach? So you can write that down on your Google Doc you have opened right now or on your notebook. Like, what am I actually here to teach? And I want to say something right away. You do not need another certification. You do not need another degree. You do not need someone to crown you as ready. I have a sparkle on my face? I do. Is that a I should have left that there. Let me put it right back. Let me try to put the sparkle back. LOL. I took it off. I shouldn't have. You do not need someone to crown you as ready. Who's waiting for that? Who is sitting there kind of going like, oh, I really should get certified in this again. Oh, how many of us have dozens of certifications. Like I'm a 5-1 generator, pure generator Capricorn. I love to learn. I will be learning until I die. I know a lot of people like stop learning at some point, not me. I will be reading and learning and I will have teachers and I really feel like I will just be on this path until I die. Anyone else? So I'm gonna continuously learn. I'm not saying I'm not gonna continue to get certified. I'm not gonna go get more degrees and blah blah blah. But I am telling you, you've got a lot of experience now. Like you've done a lot, you've been through a lot. So let's look at that today. Because if you have lived through something, learned something, transformed through something, and developed a process that helped you, whether you realize it or not, we'll go there in a little bit, you are already further ahead than someone else. Here's my reminder that there are a lot of people about to experience that either are experiencing right now or are about to experience where what you've already been through. And then we get past that. What's delusional about this is we get past this massive transformation we went through. And then we're on the other side of that transformation and initiation. And then we like forget that all that we went through, right? We forget about that girl or that woman that went through something really hard. I want you to all start thinking of her now because I'll give you a hint. That's who your audience is. Now, some of you might kind of start be racking your brain now going like, "Wait, I've been through a few things." Right. Exactly. So don't worry. I'll walk you through this. But I do want you to start getting the fountain flowing here, let's say, okay? Because this means if you are further ahead than someone, a few steps, I'm willing to bet you are leagues ahead of people. This is something you could guide them through. Now, I will say, not everything you went through, you have to guide people through. I've been through breakups. You've been through breakups. Doesn't mean I'm here to help people through breakups. You know, I had to get clear again, let's go back to the beginning of this call. I had to get clear on what are the themes, what are the patterns. The patterns for me was that people would constantly come to me to want to talk about soul purpose, and I didn't even know it was called that. When this was happening to me when I was young, my 20 somethings, traveling around the world, New York City sales floor jobs, Vegas sales floor jobs, partying my ass off. Do you think I fucking knew what soul purpose was? No. But from bars to brunches to Hong Kong to France, wherever, people would like open up to me and tell me about like their life desires and like, and then I would like be coaching them. You know, at some point in my 30s, I went like, oh, this is like people come like I could get paid for this. And then I went and got a coaching certification so I could actually like have a container and a process to bring people through. All right. I just wanted to give you that idea. So let's frame actually the big idea here. What is the big idea here? Most women never create the course that's been living in their head. Who on this call associates with that? Not because you're not capable, but because they don't know how to structure it. They don't know if it's enough. How many of you are like, "Ooh, that wouldn't be enough. That wouldn't be enough to help people. I need to learn more. I need to go get more." They don't know what to call it. How do we take these like processes that we've been through and like give it a name? And they don't know if anyone would buy it. Who feels that? Okay, what if I do put this thing together? Who's going to buy it? How do I market it? How do I stand up and represent this? Kathleen said, all of the above. LOL. Right? These are real feelings we have when it comes to this because it almost, when you start getting into this, it's almost like it would be easier to just teach a class on something simple. This is about the transformation you went through. And then you have to share it with the world and stand up as the person who is teaching it, who is leading it. And then a whole other pile of emotions come up. So for most women, I'm here because I don't want this to stay in your notes app. I don't want it to stay in your journal on your to-do list. I don't want it to stay in the someday pile. Because here's what I've learned after creating 50 courses. Right now, there are 225 lessons just inside my Daydream Business School library. All right. And with the 50, I have about 20 available right now that I love. But before I had Daydream Business School, I had an entire Tracking North mastermind, which was filled with courses. And before that, I had Earth Guardian Mastery, which I was helping a lot of Earth Guardians with their soul purpose and what they're here to do, their specific Earth missions on the planet. I had loads of courses in that. And before that, I had the New Earth Illuminators, where I was making courses. I was really here in 2018 talking about the New Earth and even another concept that no one was talking about. And it was really kind of far out back then. But here I am, 2026, still talking about it and helping women on a bigger, larger scale. And before that, I had the Wild Moon Society. It was a mystery school for women. And we were going deep into our feminine embodiment and our power and our sovereignty. And that was filled with courses and classes. I learned throughout the last, that was in 2016. So 10 years of building and designing and orchestrating courses. I would say I'm pretty fucking good at this, LOL. Like I'm just going to own it. And I love doing it. Right now, I'll be completely honest. This 3 day, I'm not going to waste these 3 days of training. This is going to go somewhere. I already have an idea of where this is going to go and how it's going to live. It's absolutely going to be available in the school, but it's going to be part of a program as well, right? I don't waste anything. Mama Earth doesn't waste anything, right? So even if you are in your head already excited and being activated, like, no, am I using the first things I did in 2016 anymore? No, but it got me to here. Sometimes you have to get the first ones out. You have to get these ideas out of you so you can unclog the pipeline for the other projects to come. We'll get deeper into that. But what I can tell you after all these years, after 10 years of doing this, is that your purpose doesn't scale until it becomes teachable. I'll say that again, and it may trigger the shit out of you. LOL. Your purpose doesn't scale until it becomes teachable. And something becomes teachable when it becomes structured. And that's what we're doing here. Now, if you're curious about what I mean by that, for example, if you're only doing privates with someone, one on one privates, whether that is for coaching or healing, right? You only have so many hours a day. You only have so many days a week. You're limited. You are limited. But let's say with this same woman, she keeps hearing this reoccurring issues that her clients have. And she's like, that's weird. About, like 25% of my clients keep bringing up this. And then after 6 months of that, she's going 6 months, 6 years, whatever, 3 years, going, I am so sick of constantly repeating myself and talking about blank. I would instruct her. This has been me, LOL. And this are all also my clients. These are real life situations. To actually maybe design a course to help people through that piece that she doesn't want to repeat anymore. And that people keep coming to her for. So soul purpose, the frequency and the energy of the people who need the thing are coming to her for the thing. So she's got the thing clearly because they wouldn't be coming to her if not. And then she's spoken about the thing and taught about the thing and teaches about the thing and heals about the thing so fucking much that she's actually getting sick of it. I teach you to turn that passive, get that recorded, let it be a PDF real quick, let it be a process that can live in a portal somewhere, let it be a workshop, let it be a class, whatever you need, right? And get that over here, then it can clear up her space. And guess what? The next thing can come through. So do you get what I'm saying, where your purpose doesn't scale until it becomes teachable? Now, there are other ways to do that. For example, I have an entire business school and I have loads of courses and classes, but I am ready for a bigger audience. And I knew this moving into this new house. I know I had a sacred contract with it, the land, the house, and living next to the bay, to get the books out. I had talked about this for years. I was almost 3 years into writing the book anyway. The dream had always been, when I was at a house by the bay, that these books would just flow out of me. Well, sure as shit, by the time I designed that altar over there behind me and was praying at it, within days, I was almost bashed over the head with the book to say, take this from third draft manuscript, put it into a fourth draft, get the editor, and let's fucking go. I just dropped off my manuscript to my editor, 123,000 words. She's working on it now. That's the fourth draft. We will be publishing May, June. I don't really know yet, but now I am in uncharted territories with this. Why am I saying this to you? Is because this is scaling. I am now taking my message, my method, and all of my favorite processes that I've helped women with for 10 years, putting it into a book and slamming it down on the table and saying, here, read this. You're curious about soul purpose? Girl, I wrote a book about it. Here's the link. Now I'm going to have thousands of people looking at that, flipping through to the back page and seeing a QR code that takes them right to the school, that takes them right to my course. This is scaling, baby, right? And for any of my clients that know me, they know behind the scenes all I've been doing for 3 months behind the scenes. I don't even know how I have the ability to teach new shit right now. LOL. Is to fix that up, fixing up my funnels, fixing up getting a whole new website designed, fixing it right. So scaling comes with more. And I'm not saying that you're there yet, but it is so good to see what that looks like. And we can play too later on. What does scaling look like that for you? Right? So your purpose doesn't scale until it becomes teachable. I want you to sit with that and go, what would that look like for me? And a lot of you aren't ready to scale. You just need to get this course out. But I think we all need to hear the teachable part. Because when something becomes teachable, it's when it can become structured. Another way to scale and what that looks like is if it becomes teachable and you put a method down, one, you become known for that method. And people start to go, hey, I've got a friend who can help you with that. She's got a method on it. She takes people through this process. The word will spread fast. Another layer of that you can educate and certify people to train, teach, lead, guide people through that method. That's what I'm doing this spring and summer with the Idea Incubator and the Embodied Entrepreneur, right? This will go wider. The impact spreads, but you have to work through a lot of healing and ego, and you have to bump up against your edges. And it's a big contraction and expansion. It's a big growth moment. It's a soul growth moment to get to a place where you can only really grow as a soul if you take people up to the level you're at, right? There are spirituality beliefs built around that. I'll say it again. If your soul is going to grow, the only way to get there is to take people up to the level that you're at so that you can be graduated to the next level. That was one of the best things a teacher ever taught me, because the growth that comes with elevating people to where you're at so you can go further. Whoo, talk about an initiation. So let me keep going. Clearly, I'm a storyteller, and you will see this through my work, but it makes it more fun, doesn't it? That's what we're doing here today. We're taking something that feels emotional and lived and personal. This is what I do. I go into those nitty gritty bits, man. I'm not here to be like, let's just step one, module one. Like, no, we'll get there. Don't you worry. You'll walk away with a process. But this emotional, lived, personal shit you're feeling right now, baby, let's give it a pathway. Let's give it a pathway. Okay. First exercise, your lived experience inventory. Grab your notebook or your laptop or whatever. I want you to write down. I think I want to take you slowly through these questions. And some of the other ways I teach, I tell you the questions and bat it out to you, and then you can write it down or listen and do it for homework later. I think I want you guys to answer this and jot this down now. Okay? So I want you to write down, the first question is, what is something you've walked through that has changed you? Listen, even if you just write down the question so that you can come back to it later, go for it. But if you're just sitting there with your journal and you're hearing me and you're being activated by me right now, then go to town, okay? What is something you've walked through that changed you? I'll give it a minute. It can be as simple as leaving corporate, can be as simple as leaving corporate and starting your own business, leaving marriages, walking away from jobs, watching your parents die. These are real things. I've experienced everything of what I just said. What is something you've walked through that changed you? Okay, number two. This is one of my favorite questions to ask people ever. What is something people constantly ask your advice about? What is something that people constantly ask your advice about? This is one of the most obvious signs of purpose. Think about it. I like to tell my friends that no one's calling me and saying, hey, Jamie, there's a great Marshall sale. there's a Marshall sale and I'm ready to go to Home Goods. Want to come with me? No, I never get those invites. I'd be like, no. However, Jamie, oh my God, I need to talk to you. This idea just dropped in. I think I need to do this. It sounds really crazy. I can't talk to anyone else about it. I want to hear you out. Can we have a session? Or if it's a friend or something, they're like, can we talk about this? Can we go out to brunch? Those are the types of calls I get. Okay. What is something people constantly ask your advice about? Question 3. What have you figured out the hard way? What have you figured out the hard way? The reason it's hard is because if it was a simple thing for you to figure out, you wouldn't have gone through a process, a transformation, an initiation, it would have just been easy. It wouldn't have been something big for you. Like, most likely your purpose is something you're like really stuck on or stuck in. In the book I wrote about, and for years I've written about, soul purpose can feel like ecstatic, orgasmic, joyful energy. And in the same week can feel like sludgy, shitty, horrible experience. All in the same day, sometimes in the same week. And if you're really working through and healing with your soul purpose, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It will make you doubt and question everything, but it also will bring you to such consciousness heights that you feel like you're high. It's quite the spectrum. All right. Question number 4. What did you have to heal, learn, or master? What did you have to heal, learn, or master? Good questions, right? Just take a moment. Okay, number 5. What would you never want someone else to struggle through alone? What would you never want someone else to struggle through alone? The stories where you're like, "Oh my God, can you give her my number?" Like, "Oh, she should," like, "I need to see her." Or you hear a mass of people going through this and you're like, my work needs to get out. Like, this is where I was like, I need to write a fucking book. I am sick of answering these same questions and I can't funnel everyone into my school who's not ready for it. I needed a tangible, accessible way to help people who are struggling. And what I feel, it's like people who feel like their soul is drowning in corporate, or they feel completely hopeless with the state of the world right now. I'm like, oh my God, I got a fucking book for you. Like, I have a million other courses for you too, right? But I'm scaling now. So I've made something more tangible. It'll be $16.99, right? Versus come in at $97 a month, $250 a month, $450 a month, right? Okay. So if you jot some stuff down, great. But what we're doing here is where I call it unclogging the pipeline. Shit's gonna come in when you're showering later. Stuff's gonna drop in when you're on your walk later. Okay. Have your notebook handy, your notes app handy, or your laptop, however you take down information, have it close, have it by. Your course does not come from theory. Okay. It comes from lived transformation. The thing that changed you is likely the thing you're meant to teach. Now, again, it may not look in the form you're saying, like, again, if you went through a nasty divorce but you guys came on the other side of it, and now you're like conscious co-parenting or whatever it's called, like, great. That may not be what you're here to teach, but within it, did you learn boundary setting and sovereignty, how to live unto yourself, how to become whole? Does that make sense? Maybe you went through a specific healing, but you don't want to like help people uh, with that disease or that diagnosis, or you know what I mean? But what did you have to do in that healing to get to the other side? That may be those specific things we can pull out may help you with that. So here we're going to learn how to do some shifting here from story to structure. Okay. So now we move from emotion because we've been like kind of pulling up the emotions with these questions and how I'm activating you on this call so far. We're going to go from emotion to structure. Every powerful course answers one simple question: who is this for and where are they going? I'll say it again. Who is this for and where are they going? So I want you to ask yourself, who was I before I learned this? Who was I before I learned this? And by now, you may be honing in on one of the transformations that are really popping out. If you gave yourself the time to answer those questions, or even just like sit with them for the time that I gave you, you'll start to see some themes emerge. But what I want to help have you do is them, deep down inside, even if it was like leaving a job you hated and like getting away from a boss that really sucked, right? Who was I before I learned this? And the reason why we need to get clear on this is because this will be your audience that's perfect for what you're going through, right? So this is now going to be some audience research for you. I want you now to describe her. Describe her. However, you're taking notes, notebook or computer, describe her. What was she thinking? What was she thinking? What was she struggling with? What were her behaviors? What did she believe about herself or the world? I'll give you an example. Like I think I opened up the book with, I think I know, I have to work with my editor on making it better. But my opening story for the book, actually, for chapter one, is when I found myself crying hysterically, sobbing in the parking lot of Whole Foods in the beginning of fall, or it was like maybe the middle of fall. And I literally, like, I could not walk back into my job. Like my soul was drowning, and we had just moved from New York City. I think I'd had the job for like a year and a half at that point or something. And these are people's dream jobs. This is the other thing. It wasn't just some job. People would die to have the job. The other girl that was in the same position as me and she got promoted after I left because I helped open up the door for her with that, as I do. She's still with them. And I'm talking about something that happened in 2014. It's 2026. She's still with them. It's a dream job. But I was dying. I literally every cell of my body was like rupturing, like getting sick, like anything to not go back in there anymore. And I was in the passenger seat, LOL. I wanted space to eat. I didn't want to go back in. Like I couldn't even eat my food in the place. I love the people I work with and I love the clientele. Doesn't matter. I was dying, dying inside. I can't imagine what would happen if I stayed. And I called my husband and I was just sobbing. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And he knew some things were really affecting me and it had been a really hard summer. And I was just like, I can't. And my husband totally gave me the permission slip. He was like, fuck it, quit. Don't go back in. Like, we'll figure it out. And it was just what I needed to hear. And thank God he was so supportive. Honestly, if he wasn't supportive, I would have had to do it anyway. And it was so freeing. But in that moment, then you have to, once I had the permission slip from my partner, right? Now I have to take action. And that clicked on something even deeper for me. Now I've been given the free pass to quit the job. Now I have to take action, quit, and figure out what I'm going to do. I was a New York City trained yoga teacher. I had already kind of been teaching around the state. So I knew I would have to. And this is a conversation you have: soul purpose and running a business. Could I leave this job, which is like regular supportive income, let's say? It wasn't even that much. Okay. But like, here we are. And could I fill up my schedule with privates, fill up my schedule with teaching around the state, and find some other side gigs? Could I dog walk? Could I do that? Like, you're just kind of like, could I fill in the gaps and make this happen? What ended up actually happening, that was fall of 2015, our gym needed to get opened. And by me leaving that job, opened up me going full on as yoga teacher, body worker, And then my husband saw that too. He was training at another gym. We were basically teaching and training around the state, going here, picking up checks here, getting paid here, getting this, signing up for events, getting asked to do this, like, "Ugh." And eventually people and us were just like, should we just open up our own space? So see how all of that needed to happen. And then in spring of 2015, we opened up What is Movement. We're now 11 years in business. So I'll keep going with stories later, but I had to describe her. I told you what I was thinking, what my process, some of what I was thinking was going through, what I was struggling with, what I was believing, and some of my behaviors, right? So now I want you to ask, who did I become after I walk through this? I gave you a little example of mine, but I need you to ask yourself this. Who did I become after I walked through this, right? Because that gap, the before, between the before and after, that's the transformation, right? So we're going to start getting clear now in this next exercise about that transformation, okay? Because the transformation is what people pay for, not information, transformation. I believe we are ending and leaving the age of information. The age of information really blew up in the last century. Obviously, we went from if you couldn't read, you were fucked at the turn of the 20th century, right? Women couldn't even vote at the turn of the 20th century, to now you can look up anything ever online at all. You know what I mean? Like, we've got all the information in the world. People are now looking for experience. And this is what we're learning today. This is a root of why we're learning this today. All right, exercise number 2. We're now going to define the transformation. I want you to fill in the sentence. I help blank go from blank to blank. It's a little ad lib, okay? I help blank go from blank to blank. This is a really quick sentence that can define the transformation you're here to help with. I do just want to give a little disclaimer. If you're like, whoa, how are we here this fast already? Technically, it's already been like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't know when I started recording. We're probably 30 minutes in now. Write these things down so that I can give you the information in the process so you can go sit with it later. If you're someone that just like needs space and quiet and time, or maybe music in your ear, or you need a nature walk after this, that's fine. But write down what I'm giving you, right? Because the only people who are getting notes from this class are the women in the business school. It's easy for me to put it under the recording. I won't be able to do it for anyone who's just listening to the recording outside of the school. I won't be able to give you the notes from this call, but you can absolutely join us over at Daydream Business School if you want access to all of these things I'm talking about. All right. So I help blank go from blank to blank. Example, I help women go from overwhelmed and stuck to structured and launched. Or I help new mothers go from isolated and anxious to confident and supported. Or I help entrepreneurs go from scattered ideas to a structured program. Keep refining until it feels clear. Not fancy, not cute, not using all these esoteric words or really creative words that people don't understand. Clear. If anyone has been playing with it right now and you want to plug it into the chat, I will read it for everyone, okay? I want to address imposter syndrome real quick. I want to speak to something that I know is coming up from so many people. That voice that says, who am I to teach this? Here's the reframe for you. You are not claiming to be the world's leading authority. I'll say it again. You're not claiming to be the world's leading authority in this. You are claiming to be one step ahead of someone else. And like I said before, I believe you are probably leagues ahead of where people are at. That's enough. Authority doesn't come from being the best in the world. It comes from being honest about what you've walked through. Okay? And I want you to understand something. Your lived experience is your intellectual property. And you better start treating it like that. What you've been through and the process you created, this is your intellectual property. This is your IP, right? This is your, I like to use this word a lot too, proprietary process. This is your proprietary process. It's not random, it's not accidental, it's earned. You earned it. So own it. It deserves structure. It deserves to see the light of day. And you're literally holding other people back who are where you were 10 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it was, from having this transformation and this initiation because you're too scared to put it out in the world, right? And I know I get sassy and I get fired up about this stuff, but the world is in loads of suffering. There's beautiful joy and amazing things happening on the planet too, absolutely. But a lot of people are suffering and a lot of people are waking up over the next decade, right? All right, let me read some of these awesome comments we have coming in here. We have Ashley saying, I help women go from doubt and fear to trust and embodiment. I love that. I help women go from doubt and fear to trust and embodiment. Jess said, I help overwhelmed women go from decentered to creating balance and a joyful life. I'll say it again. I help overwhelmed women go from decentered to creating a balanced and joyful life. Beautiful. Laura said, I help educators, parents, and organizations go from outdated literacy practices to confidently following children's lead to learn to read. Damn, you guys are getting it. You are getting it. All right. This also, I'll say, I don't know if you're like me. I will write like 5 of these over the next 5 days. Okay. You're going to be like in bed. You're like jumping up to like write something in your phone and go look for the little thing. Keep going with it. Keep like I said, we're turning on the fountain here. We're unclogging the pipeline. So you're gonna start to things are gonna get flowing, energy's flowing, ideas are gonna flow. You're gonna get fired up. Okay. All right. This is the third exercise. We are flowing, we are fast. Also, I don't want to keep you on here for 90 minutes. The point of this is to not be on here for 90 minutes. Okay. We're moving through this. So now you can go have a whole day to work through this. Okay. And then come back tomorrow and we go deeper again. But let's go with exercise 3. Working title. Oh shit. What do you mean, Jamie? We're labeling it already? Listen, sometimes I would say this is the thing to do last, but we're actually going to play with this day 1. Because now that you have and gotten more clear on, and we'll continue to get clear on your audience. So this is one of the things you're going to have to do for homework. Get clear about your audience. And remember, what is your audience? Most likely you in that past version of yourself. Okay? Your before and after. This is homework. Get really clear about the before and after. Right now, my soul is not drowning. Look at me. I am radiant. But like shit is hard. I was in doubt land a few hours ago, all right? But now as I'm speaking and teaching about soul purpose and helping other women on the planet talk about theirs and help with the impact they're here to make, my soul is radiant right now. So I'm not going to pretend and say like life isn't challenging and hard. We run 2 businesses. We have 2 kids we homeschool. We're running a multi 6-figure business, right? Like shit's hard. We're challenged all the time, right? But we are not drowning. Our souls are not dying right now, right? We are both, my husband and I, leaders in our communities who have went through so much healing and so much evolution and training so that we could stand up and lead people by the hundreds. And now we're heading into the thousands of people, I'm saying, right? So I know my before and after very clear, but I could always go back here a little bit and get like, remind myself and refresh myself about how hard it was, how lost I was, how hopeless I was. Remember, because when you get on the other side of the hump, you're like, you kind of forget about it. But we got to go back there because we need to go back there for our audience and get really clear about where she's at. I'm just saying that for now. Where she's at, what she's believing, what is the life she's living right now, and how hard is that, and what does that feel like? And then also to get clear about for the before and after, which is the transformation. So we're really honing in on the transformation today. Now let's give this a working title. I don't want you to overthink this. And yes, look, chatty and researching online and my business school, there's so many. There's a whole section in our library, guys, for course creation. You can go watch all those. I've got designing your first webinar, designing your first intro course, how to, you go over how to title it, how to subtitle it, how to name it. That's all over there. We're not going there today. I want to give you this quick, fast formula. You can use what I just used. From soul to syllabus. I love the from blank to blank. From blank to blank. I always use this too for from shit to stardust. And that was my one of my OG programs and processes I've ever brought someone through in 2018 when I really went from teaching courses, teaching courses, teaching courses to like classes, courses to like a process of mine. And I had them go, it was basically the beginner of my idea incubator, helping people go from these like, divine ideas or drop ins and callings we have to do and bringing it through to the material world to birth it onto the planet. So if you're in the school or you're hearing this and you want to laugh your ass off, not laugh your ass off because it's like me being fired up, but it was like me teaching this in 2018 and then go watch the idea incubator and like the growth and evolution I have. I still make people go watch From Shit to Stardust because it's so good. And if anyone's hearing that, like, why would you have, if you have a new thing, why would you keep your 2018 thing? Here's the thing. I will never recreate one of my courses ever, ever. Why? Because if I tried to do From Shit to Stardust now, I'm a different person. It would not land. But the energy that I was in and the excitement I had, the fire, the soul fire, the power, the presence I had in 2018 for that program, I could never recreate. And some people need me in that energy, need me in that flow, that frequency. Does that make sense? So I'm keeping it. I absolutely send people back there to go watch that. People on their own go back to go watch it. Does that make sense? And then they can come in and watch the Idea Incubator. For anyone who's hearing this in March of 2026, sounds crazy to say March, here we are. The Idea Incubator season is coming up, so stay tuned. If you're in the school, you don't have to go watch it just yet. We're gonna do that together soon. By spring equinox, it kicks off. Ashley said, "From shit to stardust, I'm literally living on the land that you had us all meditate on and bring in through vision. Like when I saw this land, I was like, oh my God, I saw that in Jamie's meditation. Here I am 5 years later. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. That gives me fucking chills. And you know what, Ashley? I'm in the house that I saw in that vision at that time too, to be completely honest, right? And this is the power of doing this work. And this is the power of transformation and seeing the thing and seeing the manifestation, feeling the desires in your heart. That's really, really, I teach you where it comes from. It's not even always a divine meditation manifestation that drops in. It's a desire deep in your heart that you know you're here to have, right? Your desires are connected to your destiny, right? So religions and textures, scriptures, whatever the fuck I'm saying, scripture texts that are telling you your desires are bad is fucking blasphemy. It's bullshit. Your desires are connected to your destiny. What do you want? What is yours? Let's get clear about it so we can go help others get there too. All right? Okay, God, I'm just talking about titles, but here we go. From blank to blank could be yours. Here's another one. The blank blueprint. The blank blueprint. Here's another one. The blank method. The blank method. Here's another one. The blank reset. The blank reset. The blank pathway. Yeah, we're using the word pathway. Just get something down. Believe me, we'll refine it later, but start to let it land. Go to Chatty, to all your, I don't know what AIs you use, that can help you absolutely. Take it to Google and look for a name generator or something like that, but I'm telling you, it's already living in you. All right? Okay. So today, you've identified what you're meant to teach. And if you haven't by the end of this call, don't worry, but this is what I want you to spend time on. What you're meant to teach. Okay, so get clear. I've had all these experiences, but I want you to take a highlighter or get a pen and start to circle or highlight the themes that kept coming up. What are the themes that kept coming up? For example, I don't help women leave corporate, but a lot of women who I work with have left a corporate situation, right? I don't have to go teach about it. I'm here to teach about soul purpose and business, right? So what you're meant to teach, I want you to get clear about that. Get clear about the themes of reoccurring patterns and themes that keep coming up. Who it's for. You need to get really clear right now on who it's for. Next is the transformation. What is the transformation that people will have? And the last one's a working title. So 4 things today already in less than an hour. What you're meant to teach, who it's for, the transformation, and a working title. This is more than most people ever do. Tomorrow we structure it. We can turn this into modules and lessons, and that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. I go way more nitty-gritty about what the modules are, where you get the modules from, what the lessons are, and we create the pathway. Because right now, you have a transformation that you're sitting with, but tomorrow we build the bridge. So before we close, I want you to reflect tonight. If I were brave, if I didn't wait, if I trusted my experience, what would this become? Could you have something totally designed out by Friday afternoon? Will you allow yourself to do that? Will it be the bones, the bare bones of this course or program or your method? I don't want you to be pigeonholed into course. You may be downloading and getting clear right now about your process, the process that you take other people through. What would this become? All right. So I hope you feel seen today. I hope you feel activated. I hope you're starting to feel more clear than ever before. I hope you're feeling slightly nervous in a good way and excited. So, what I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to stop this recording because it can be just the learning of today. But I would love to have some of you on here if someone wants to come. I don't know if someone's going to raise up in the audience today. I'd love to help you. And I want to answer any questions right now. Anyone who's kind of playing with something or sussing something out, or you're confused on it. Okay. So we're just going to stop this recording and we'll start a whole nother one. Thank you for coming to day one. Love you guys so much. We'll see you for tomorrow.